Imperial Logistics Officer First Class Henderson reporting. With the acquisition of new worlds and their resources, I have begun to notice a disturbing pattern of some of these going missing. This would mean to conclude that... Oh, Inquisitor, how may I...
So, greetings, and today, as you've seen by the new title intro, we're going to be talking about Emperor Palpatine's secret storehouses. Something that you'd think someone might have noticed over the years, till an Inquisitor shows up. So, essentially, what the storehouses are locations that have been removed from Imperial records or hidden later on, where Palpatine would store various bits of equipment, souvenirs of conquests, and anything he might find useful later on down the line. This could even include vast storehouses of credits, priceless art and artifacts, and even the limbs and lightsabers of deceased former enemies. That will get its own separate video at some point, and I do plan on doing 2 separate videos on 2 of the bigger storehouses, as they deserve their own video. Some of them would house specific things, such as viral contagions or even a fully stocked cloning facility, but each would also contain bits and pieces of art and little bits of tech that Palpatine, like I said before, would find useful. Now, where it comes to the Imperial records of these, most of them were erased, with only individuals of high standing or in the higher echelons of the Imperial military really knowing of their existences. Such people would include Emperor's Hands. Vader, it's debatable whether or not he actually knew, because, well, Vader and the Emperor had a strained relationship over time, and eventually I think Vader might have tried to seek these out and stub Palpatine's nose at it, and it probably would have also not been a good thing, as a lot of them were actually guarded by dark force users that the Emperor had either put there or done something interesting with the DNA of a former enemy. While Vader did know that his master was always hiring prominent force users to either use as Inquisitors, or I say hire, or corrupt fallen Jedi as potential replacements for Vader in order to test him, I don't think he'd have been best pleased if he'd found out about some of the people he had guarding the storehouses. Especially seeing as, well, some of them Vader might have recognised from Anakin's past, and with anything from the past that would remind Vader of who he once was, he would go to great lengths to try and remove said reminder. But anyway, enough rambling, back on topic. So, in the original Expanded Universe continuity, there are 4 confirmed storehouses. And these are the deep core storage, known as the Emperor's Plague Storehouse. I'll give you one guess what's stored there. Sequaries, which is one located within a section of that planet called the Graveyard of the Dragons, which we don't actually know is inside it, as no one's really ever been inside it, from what I can gather. Mount Tantris, which is going to be getting its own video, which is frequent quite prominently in the Heir to the Empire book series, which is where the concept of the storehouses was originally introduced. Very good read, heavily recommend it. And the final storehouse, we don't even know the name of the location of, but what we do know is that the area in which it was supposedly to be was held on the Eclipse class Star Destroyer. If you've played the events of Star Wars Empire at War Forces of Corruption, you actually play as Tiber Zahn and the Zahn Consortium as they go after to try and find out the location of all these storehouses. The reason why I say location of multiple storehouses is the amount of credits, art and stuff listed on the list that Tiber goes through at the end leads me to speculate there may actually be a lot more that specifically hold these resources and credits. Considering Palpatine did like to acquire massed bits of wealth and also artifacts of the dark side, I reckon there is more than the 4 I've just mentioned below, hidden throughout the galaxy. Ah, Palpy, Turns out you're not just a megalomaniac, you're also a hoarder. But I suppose it does help to be prepared for stuff. On one note before I bring the video to an end, I will say that I am actually happy to report that the concept of the secret storehouses have been recanonised. If you've played the EA version of Star Wars Battlefront 2, you actually have to go on a mission to, I think it was destroy one of them, and you run into Luke Skywalker as you do, and he opens it up with the Force, and the guy's like, "Are you telling me the Emperor was a Jedi?" He's like, "No, I'm telling you, you were afraid of the wrong thing." Now, I do like the fact that they've brought that back into canon, as it does open up new possibilities in the Disney canon. For example, considering Palpatine's love of Sith alchemy, we could have some of the experiments he tried to, once he'd rediscovered the craft, to remaster and use it. You could have the chrysalid beasts turn up one day in a story. But that's just me being hopeful, but we'll see what happens. Anyway, as always, if you like what I discuss here, perhaps consider leaving me a like down below, maybe a comment if you think I've missed anything, or do you want to talk or get a debate going? And if you haven't already, perhaps consider subscribing to stay up to date with all the content that I produce and any of my gaming videos. That being said, have a good day, take care, and may the lore keepers ever be in your favour.